Well, 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 not only has Bashar al-Assad's stronghold over Syria crumbled, but now his relationship has as well. That's right, his British-born wife, Asma Al-Assad, is now filing for divorce and asking to come back to the UK. They're currently exiled from Syria in Russia, and she's not liking it there. She said enough is enough, and she wants to throw in the towel, leave her husband and come back to Britain. So we're going to be talking today about this and asking the question, should we let her back in? Is she a threat? Is it dangerous to bring her back? And does she deserve to be let back in after she left Britain to go marry a dictator who used chemical weapons on his own people? Let's get right into it. So, what has happened? Well, she has been living in exile in Moscow since they got thrown out, toppled. The dictatorship was toppled in Syria. She's known as Rose of the Desert, but she says that she is unhappy with her life in Russia and wants to return to Britain. Why is she unhappy with her life in Russia? Well, apparently they're under quite severe restrictions in Russia. They can't just go out and walk about and go about their lives as they want to. Apparently Assad's assets are frozen, but he did actually manage to, when he escaped Syria, take a heck of a lot of money with him and a ton of gold as well to keep him going. But so we're not sure if it's that she's sick of her husband or she's just sick of being in Russia. But she says she wants out, she wants a divorce, and she wants to be back in Britain. So the Jerusalem Post are the ones that reported that she has applied to a Russian court for permission to leave the country and her husband. She's asking to be let out and sent back to Britain. And her application is supposedly being evaluated by the Russian authorities. At the moment, we don't yet have a decision on this. In terms of how it works from a legal perspective, whether the UK has to approve this as well, she is a British citizen after all, I don't know, or whether it's just up to the Russians. The Brits, it may be difficult for them to strip her of her citizenship, because we're going to compare this to Shamima Begum. Shamima Begum, they've been able to strip Shamima Begum of her British citizenship just on the basis that she is entitled to a citizenship in another country. You can't just leave somebody stateless. So I don't know if she's got any other passports that would allow the Brits to rid her of her citizenship. And the question is, should we? Should we? I don't know the answer. You tell me in the comments. We'll have a look at some people's opinions on this to help you make up your mind. And just lastly there, the Kremlin spokesperson, he's denying that this has happened. They want to cover this up. I don't know why. But GB News is where this article has come from. They seem very clear that this is true, that she's filed for divorce, and the Jerusalem Post have reported it as well. There she is, very beautiful woman with her husband there. But, don't be completely deceived by her looks. This is a woman who decided to marry a dictator. She left Britain to go to Syria, and she was part she was the first lady of Syria, of a regime that used chemical weapons on its own people. It's been, a regime of terror that has led to, the regime that she was a part of is, has caused so many asylum seekers to make their way to Europe, make their way to the shores of Britain, right? So we've had issues with our national security as a consequence, and our border control as a consequence of what happened in this regime. Does she deserve to be let back in the country? I don't know, but let's have a look at what some people on Twitter had to say to help us make up our minds. So this lady said, in terms of their desirability as British citizens, the main difference between Shamima Begum and Asma Al-Assad is that Asma has not publicly supported the bombing of the Manchester arena. So Shamima Begum, obviously people got mixed views on that, but there are plenty of people who say she should not be allowed back in the country. Her fault, she decided, she may have been 15, under 18, but that's old enough to have your wits about you. She decided to join ISIS and take herself off to Syria. Obviously, Asma Al-Assad, not part of ISIS, different organisation, but still a very, very, very brutal regime. She stood there by her husband whilst all that was happening. But you don't know exactly what was going on inside her head. Maybe she didn't know what she was getting into. Okay, and then once she was there and once she was married and once the terror started, she was terrified that if she spoke out and she said, I don't agree with this, I want to leave, that she might be killed as well. Maybe she was a bit of a prisoner and didn't approve of any of it and was terrified and scared, and now that he's lost his power, she finally feels like she is in a strong enough position to get out alive. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Or maybe she was perfectly happy with all of it and she's got no issue with it, and she's pretty extreme herself. She's got no problem with women and children being tortured and murdered, and she just sees now, I wanted the power that my husband has, but he's lost his power now. There's nothing in it for me anymore. Off I go back to Britain. I'll go find some other rich bloke to marry. I don't know exactly what's going through her head. Here we've got another tweet. Asma Assad wants to go back to UK, but she is not welcome, this guy says. She says she is not happy with living conditions in Russia, but she was okay with torturing, jailing, killing and slaughtering the Syrian kids and people. And when I was looking at these tweets, I saw a horrible video, one of these leaked videos. Of course, cannot completely verify the validity of it, but a horrible video of Syrians under the Syrian regime, women being stripped naked, tortured, battered with a stick, then had petrol thrown over them, and then burnt alive. Disgusting to watch, absolutely horrifying, and to think that woman, she was alright with that. She just stood by and watched whilst that happened, didn't fight back against it. Doesn't sit comfortably with me. Does not sit comfortably with me. This person says Asma Al-Assad is equally culpable as her husband for the bloodshed of innocent Syrian civilians. She has been the driving force behind his actions, and her request for a divorce is seen as a ploy to manipulate public perception and potentially pave the way for her return. Okay, so she, as you say, this person says that she may be trying to manipulate public perception. So she may put on a show and say, I was just a prisoner. I didn't want any of it to happen. It was horrifying, but I was scared for my own life and I couldn't leave until now. She may say that. But if she does, do you think that we should believe her? Because, she could be putting on a show to get us to accept her back when it's not actually her true feeling. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that we should buy her story if she says that she was really a prisoner and never believed in any of what was going on? I don't know. And then lastly, just one more tweet on this to help you guys make up your minds, looking at various different opinions. This person thinks it was all about power. So Neo? How do you say that name? I don't know. If it's true that Asma Al-Assad is filing for divorce, it says a lot about the love all the Assadists claimed they had for years. It would mean she stayed with him for his power and jumped ship immediately after he lost it. So this person seems to be suggesting that it's all about power. Let me know in the comments what you think. Why is she leaving her husband? Why exactly? And should we allow her to come back to Britain? Is it safe to do so? And does she deserve to come back? Let me know in the comments. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you all very, very soon.
Still watching? Well, I've got a quick ask for you. Recent UK, we're fighting the woke brigade and inspiring young Brits, but we need your help to go bigger. We're hosting a fundraiser and would love you to sign up and share the link on the big day. It's easy, it makes a massive impact, and there are prizes for top fundraisers. Click the Google form in the description to join us. Cheers very much. Let's keep going together.